Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt tired of your own reflection? Not your face, but the feeling behind it. The same habits, the same mistakes, the same excuses. You wake up, scroll your phone, eat the same breakfast, walk the same path, talk to the same people, and every night you whisper to yourself, "Tomorrow I will change." But tomorrow looks exactly like today. You are not lazy. You are not broken. You are simply lost in noise. The world is too loud. Everyone is talking, posting, comparing, rushing. And somewhere in that noise, you forgot how to hear yourself. That's why disappearing is powerful. Not disappearing from life, but disappearing from distraction. It means closing the door to everything that steals your attention. It means choosing silence instead of approval. It means focusing only on one thing, building yourself quietly. Imagine you stop trying to prove anything to anyone for 90 days. You stop explaining your plans. You stop showing results. You stop defending your dreams. You move in silence. You train your body. You clean your space. You study. You build new habits. You heal. And every day, without anyone knowing, you grow stronger. The world believes in noise. It celebrates those who talk, who post, who announce. But the real power lives in silence. Think about the seed under the soil. No one sees it. No one claps for it. But it's growing, pushing, breaking, becoming. That is you now. You are that seed. The darkness around you is not punishment. It is preparation. You don't need to shout to be powerful. You just need to keep going when no one is watching. To disappear for 90 days means to commit to yourself completely. To say, for 3 months, I am my own mission. It's not dramatic. You don't need to travel away or delete your life. You just need to choose focus. Fewer words, fewer people, more purpose. Every message, every piece of gossip, every argument costs you energy. And you need that energy to rebuild. The world will still be there when you return. But you will be different. So today, you take a deep breath and decide. You won't run away. You won't announce it. You will simply disappear into discipline, into growth, into peace. You will learn to love the sound of your own progress, quiet but steady, day by day. Because when you finally return, the world won't recognize you, and maybe you won't recognize yourself either. When you first disappear, the silence feels strange. You reach for your phone without thinking. You want to tell someone what you're doing. You want someone to notice. But this time, no one does. And that is the beauty of it. For the first time, you are not performing. You are simply being. At first, silence feels heavy, like an empty room. But soon, it begins to breathe with you. You start hearing the soft sounds that were always there. The wind outside your window, the clock ticking, your own heartbeat. That is the sound of life returning to you. In silence, truth becomes louder. You start to see what was hidden beneath the noise. You see how much energy you gave to meaningless things, how often you said yes when you wanted to say no, how easily your mood depended on a screen. You realize how tired you've been, not from work, but from pretending. Silence doesn't just calm you, it cleans you. It takes away the layers you built to please others, until only the real you remains. The first few days feel slow. Your mind resists. It wants stimulation, distraction, drama. It will whisper, "This is boring, go back." But you stay. You breathe. You listen. The silence starts to teach you discipline. You begin to understand that peace is not empty. It is full of power. You notice your thoughts like clouds passing through your mind. Some are dark, some are bright, but none stay forever. You stop fighting them. You let them pass. That is the first lesson of disappearing, learning to sit with yourself without fear. Then, something begins to change. You start to hear a different voice. A quiet, honest voice that says, "I'm proud of you." It's not loud like the world. It's calm, patient, strong. It belongs to you. That voice is your guide for the next 90 days. You don't need followers or likes or applause anymore. You just need that voice that says, keep going. Silence is where clarity grows. You start to remember what really matters: your health, your focus, your language, your dreams. You see how much time you wasted trying to impress people who were not even watching. You realize that real success happens when no one sees it. Muscles grow in the gym, not on the stage. Confidence grows in quiet effort, not in public praise. Every morning, you wake up earlier. You start your day slowly, with purpose. You write a few thoughts in English. You listen to your breathing. You make your bed neatly. You move your body a little. You whisper, I'm here. These small actions are invisible, but they are building a foundation. You are not chasing speed now. You are building rhythm. The kind of rhythm that carries you through storms. You will want to talk again, to show progress, to prove something. Don't. Stay in the silence. Let your results speak later. The people who once doubted you will see soon enough. But that's not your goal. Your goal is peace. Because once you find peace, you can build anything. And so, the silence continues, not empty, but alive, teaching you to listen, to wait, and to grow quietly from within. After a few days of silence, something shifts inside you. You start to see patterns. You notice how your mornings decide everything that follows. When you wake up late, the day feels heavy. When you wake up early, the world feels lighter. You understand that transformation is not built on big moments, but on small decisions repeated again and again. So you begin to create your foundation, not a plan full of pressure, but a gentle structure that helps you grow every day. You start simple. You wake up and drink water. You stretch your body for a few minutes. You open the window and let fresh air touch your face. You whisper a few sentences in English, slowly, softly. I am here. I am growing. I am learning. The words are not just practice for your language. They are programming for your mind. Each sentence plants a seed of discipline. You begin to realize that language and life grow the same way, through daily repetition and quiet patience. You clean your room. You throw away things that no longer belong to the new you. Old papers, old clothes, old memories. As you clear the space, your mind also feels lighter. Order outside creates order inside. You understand that every object you keep carries energy, and if your space is full of clutter, your mind cannot breathe. So you let go. You don't need much to start again. Just focus, honesty, and peace. Then comes movement. You begin to exercise, even a little. You walk, you stretch, you feel your body again. At first, it hurts. Your muscles complain, your breath is short. But with every step, you remember something. Pain is not punishment. It is proof of progress. You don't run away from it anymore. You move with it. You learn that growth doesn't shout. It whispers, quietly, through effort. You also start feeding your mind differently. No random scrolling, no gossip, no empty talk. Instead, you read simple, powerful books. You listen to calm, inspiring English voices. You take notes. You repeat phrases out loud. Slowly, the language begins to live in you. You start thinking in English without forcing it. Every new word becomes a small victory. Every sentence you speak adds confidence to your voice. You feel proud of yourself, not because the world sees it, but because you do. This foundation becomes your quiet routine. You wake, you move, you clean, you learn, you rest. No drama, no rush, just consistency. The days begin to connect smoothly, like steps of a staircase. You are no longer surviving each day, you are building them. And the more you build, the more peace you feel. Sometimes you still feel lonely. The world outside continues moving fast, full of noise, full of faces. But you don't envy it anymore. You understand something most people never do. Real strength grows in private. You are no longer searching for attention. You are searching for alignment with your goals, your values, your heart. And so, as the days pass quietly, your foundation grows stronger. You are no longer falling apart. You are learning to stand, calm, focused, and ready for what comes next. Once the foundation is set, the real work begins. The first weeks of disappearing are the hardest because the excitement fades and the discipline must take over. You wake up one morning and the silence feels heavy again. Your mind says, skip today, rest a bit. Nobody will know. But that is the exact moment that builds your future. Because success is never built on big choices. It's built on small promises you keep when nobody is watching. So you begin to train your mind like a muscle. Every time you want to give up, you say quietly, just one more step. You repeat it when you study, when you exercise, when you speak in English and the words feel slow. One more sentence. One more repetition. One more try. This is how discipline is born. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. At first, your mind fights you. It wants comfort, sugar, scrolling, sleep. It whispers that discipline is hard. But after some days, you notice something surprising. It starts to feel natural. The body loves routine, and the mind loves order. What was once effort becomes rhythm. You wake up before the alarm. You reach for your notebook instead of your phone. You begin to look forward to your quiet mornings. You start tracking your days. A small notebook becomes your mirror. You write the date and 3 lines. What you did well, what you learned, what you will do tomorrow. The act of writing slows your thoughts, clears confusion, and gives shape to your progress. You notice patterns, days when you felt powerful and days when you lost focus. But you don't judge yourself anymore. You simply observe and adjust. That's how real learners grow. When you study English, you treat it the same way. No pressure, no guilt, just rhythm. 10 new words today, 10 tomorrow. You repeat them in your mind while you walk, while you cook, while you clean. You make your environment your teacher. The world becomes your classroom. Every sound, every sentence, every thought, an opportunity to practice. The outside world still moves fast. People complain, compare, and chase. You don't. You move slowly but deeply. You realize that progress isn't loud. It happens quietly inside your daily routine. Every hour of focus adds a layer to your new self. Sometimes discipline feels lonely. You look around and wonder if it's worth it. But then, you remember why you started. To meet the version of you that no one has seen yet. The one who doesn't give up after a week. The one who keeps promises. The one who lives with purpose. The beauty of discipline is that it doesn't just change your schedule, it changes your identity. You stop saying, I want to be disciplined, and start saying, I am disciplined. You don't try to be strong, you are strong. Days pass, one after another, each carrying its quiet weight. And while nothing dramatic happens, everything inside you is transforming. The mirror begins to show someone new, not because your face changed, but because your eyes did. There's focus there now, and calm. A quiet confidence that can only come from work done in silence. After several weeks, you begin to notice something subtle. Your days feel smoother. Your thoughts are calmer. You no longer fight yourself every morning. You simply begin. What changed? Not the world, not your luck, your habits. The small invisible actions you repeat every day have started to build a new rhythm inside you. You realize that habits are like mirrors. They quietly show you who you are becoming. Look around your life now. Every habit leaves a footprint. The way you start your morning, the way you eat, the way you speak, the way you react. all of it shapes your identity. Before disappearing, most of your habits came from reaction. You did things because others did. You followed moods, not plans. Now, you are choosing your patterns on purpose. You no longer ask, "Do I feel like doing this?" You simply do it because it aligns with who you want to be. You keep your habits simple and honest. You wake up early, even when it's dark. You move your body for at least 10 minutes. You drink water. You make your bed. You speak or write a few English sentences, not for perfection, but for connection. You read something uplifting instead of scrolling. You end your day with reflection, not regret. These habits seem small, but together they build strength, order, and clarity. At first, they require effort, but soon, they carry you forward. You stop wasting energy deciding what to do. Your mind becomes free to focus on bigger dreams. That's the secret of habits. They turn discipline into flow. Once your daily rhythm is steady, you no longer depend on motivation. You don't wait for the perfect mood or time. You move because it's who you are now. Still, not every day is perfect. Some mornings you wake up tired. Some evenings you feel lost again. That's natural. Change is not a straight line. There are dips, doubts, and moments when nothing seems to work. But you remind yourself gently, even slow days count. Because every time you show up, even tired, you are training your brain to trust you. That trust is the root of confidence. One night, as you brush your teeth, you catch your reflection and realize something small but powerful. Your eyes look steadier. Your face seems lighter. You are not chasing happiness anymore. You are building peace. You have stopped expecting miracles and started creating them through small, repeated actions. Habits are not cages. They are wings. They lift you quietly without asking for attention. When people see you after these weeks, they might not notice a big change yet, but they will feel something different in your presence. Your calmness, your focus, your balance. And deep inside, you feel it too. You are still silent, still disappearing, but your silence now carries structure. Each action, each breath, each choice is another brick in the person you are building. You are beginning to understand the quiet truth of growth. Transformation is not one big event. It's the gentle echo of small habits repeated with love and patience until one day, you realize you no longer need to push. You simply live the way you once dreamed to. As the rhythm of your habits grows stronger, a new challenge appears. One that doesn't come from the outside world, but from inside you. The fight within. It starts quietly. A small voice in your mind whispers, "You've done enough. Take a break. One day off won't matter." It sounds soft, kind, reasonable. But you recognize that voice now. It's the same voice that kept you stuck for years. The voice of comfort. You begin to see that discipline is not a war against the world. It's a conversation with your weaker self. Every time you say no to laziness, no to overthinking, no to distraction, you are teaching that voice who leads. You are no longer following feelings. You are following purpose. But still, the battle is real. There are days when you wake up tired, when everything feels meaningless, when the silence becomes too deep. You start asking, "Why am I even doing this?" That's when you need to remember your beginning. You didn't disappear to escape life. You disappeared to find direction. Growth is not always beautiful. Sometimes it's quiet pain. Sometimes it's resistance. Think of a butterfly before it flies. It struggles inside the cocoon, pushing and stretching. Without that struggle, its wings would never be strong enough to carry it. You are in your cocoon now. The pain you feel is your wings forming. So you stop running from discomfort. You welcome it. When your mind says, "I can't," you whisper, "I will." When you feel too tired to study, you do 5 minutes instead of none. When you lose focus, you breathe and begin again. You stop expecting perfection. You start respecting effort. The smallest action still counts because it proves you're stronger than your excuses. And something magical happens when you keep going through the fight. The same things that once felt impossible become natural. What used to feel like effort becomes habit. You start enjoying the process itself. The early mornings, the quiet meals, the repetition of study, the simplicity of progress. You are no longer running from the fight. You are dancing with it. You also start noticing your thoughts more clearly. You see how often the mind creates problems that don't exist. Worries, doubts, comparisons, they all fade when you act instead of overthink. You realize that thinking too much was never the problem. Not acting was. So now you move. Even small steps. Every time you act, the noise quiets down. The fight within never completely disappears. It just changes shape. Some days it feels like fear. Some days it feels like tiredness. But now you meet it with calm eyes and a steady heart. You are no longer afraid of your weaker self. You simply say, I see you, but I'm still moving. And slowly, you understand something that changes everything. Peace is not the absence of struggle. Peace is the strength to stay steady in the middle of it. You are learning that strength now, through silence, through effort, through the quiet fight that only you can see. After the storms inside you begin to calm, something new rises, a gentle, steady focus. You start seeing how much of your old life was built on distraction. The endless scrolling, the pointless conversations, the constant switching between goals. Your mind used to jump from one thing to another like a restless bird. Now it's learning to land and stay. You understand that focus is not about doing more. It's about doing less, but doing it deeply. Each morning, you choose one clear target, one task that truly matters. You tell yourself, if I finish this today, the day is a success. That simple decision changes everything. You stop trying to fight 10 battles at once. You fight one, and you win. You feel lighter, sharper, more alive. You begin to realize how much energy is wasted on multitasking. Your brain, once scattered, now moves like a single beam of light. When you sit to study English, you focus fully. You repeat words slowly, feeling their shape in your mouth. You listen carefully to the rhythm of sentences, the emotion behind each sound. You're not learning for marks or tests anymore. You're learning to express yourself clearly, calmly, confidently. You start noticing your progress, the way you can form ideas faster, the way English begins to think through you instead of around you. Focus has become your teacher. Even outside study, you practice focus. When you eat, you eat. When you walk, you walk. When you rest, you rest. You live each moment as it comes, not halfway between this and that. Life starts to feel fuller, even in the smallest moments. The taste of your tea, the softness of air, the warmth of sunlight on your face. Everything becomes more vivid when you are fully present. You begin to understand that focus is not pressure, it's peace. But maintaining focus takes awareness. Distractions will return, dressed in new forms, an old friend's message, a sudden doubt, a shiny temptation. You recognize them now. You smile at them and let them pass. You know that every no you say protects your energy for something greater. Some evenings you sit quietly, notebook in hand, and look at the work you've done that day. You feel a calm pride, not the noisy kind that wants to show the world, but a silent one that whispers, I kept my promise again. That whisper is more satisfying than any applause. Slowly, the power of focus begins to shape you. Your thoughts grow clearer, your movements more intentional, your goals more realistic. You stop rushing. You stop comparing. You begin to enjoy the slow, steady rhythm of becoming. And without realizing it, You are teaching yourself a new way to live, a life where energy flows in one direction, where attention is a form of love, and where silence is no longer emptiness but the doorway to mastery. With focus now alive inside you, the next lesson arrives quietly. It is not about doing more, but about being still. The deeper you go into silence, the more you realize that peace is not something you chase. It's something you allow. For the first time, you begin to understand the power of doing nothing. Not the lazy kind of nothing, but the mindful kind. The kind that fills you instead of empties you. Each day, after your work or study, you take a few minutes to sit in stillness. No music, no phone, no noise. Just you and your breath. At first, your mind refuses. It throws memories, worries, unfinished tasks. But you stay. You breathe in and out. You let the thoughts pass like clouds. Slowly, the noise inside begins to soften. Beneath it, you discover a quiet space that was always there, waiting for you to return. You start noticing small miracles in ordinary moments. The way light moves across your wall in the morning, the sound of water running from the tap, the comfort of a simple meal. Nothing big, nothing loud, but real. You begin to see that stillness is not the absence of life. It's where life becomes visible again. It's where you can finally hear your own heart. Stillness also teaches you patience. You stop expecting instant results. You realize that growth cannot be forced. Like a plant, you can water, you can care, but you cannot pull it to grow faster. So you stop rushing. You trust the process. You trust time. You learn that waiting is not weakness, it is wisdom. This stillness becomes your secret strength. When emotions rise, you no longer react quickly. You pause. You breathe. You respond calmly. You start noticing how much power there is in silence before speech, in thought before action. The old you wanted to prove, the new you observes. The old you reacted, the new you understands. In those moments of quiet, you also begin to connect deeper with your learning. English is no longer just words. It's a mirror of your inner state. When your mind is peaceful, your sentences flow easily. When you are restless, your words stumble. You realize that language, like life, grows best in calm soil. So you stop forcing fluency. You let it bloom naturally, one honest sentence at a time. Sometimes, while sitting in stillness, you feel a deep wave of gratitude. You remember who you were before you disappeared, confused, noisy, searching for meaning in others. Now, even without applause or company, you feel full. The quiet feels like home. And in this gentle peace, you start to sense something new rising inside. A calm confidence, a quiet strength that doesn't need to shout. You are no longer running from yourself. You are sitting with yourself, and that changes everything. As stillness becomes a natural part of your days, you begin to feel something you haven't felt in a long time: energy. Not the restless, coffee-fueled kind that burns fast and dies quickly, but a clean, steady current running through you. It comes from alignment. Your actions, thoughts, and habits finally move in the same direction. You are no longer fighting yourself. You are flowing with yourself. You wake up earlier and feel clear. Your body feels lighter. Your mind no longer drags you into endless worry. You start noticing how much energy you used to waste on things that gave nothing back. Arguments, gossip, overthinking, regret. Now, all that energy returns home to you. You understand that the secret to high energy is not doing more. It's removing what drains you. You begin to eat differently too. Not to follow a trend, but to respect your body. You eat slower. You taste your food. You stop when you're full. You realize that food isn't just fuel. It's communication with your body. And when you listen carefully, your body speaks clearly. It tells you when it's tired, when it's thirsty, when it needs rest. You start to care for it not with guilt, but with gratitude. It carries you through your transformation, step by step, breath by breath. The same energy flows into your mind. When you sit down to study English, your focus lasts longer. You find yourself enjoying the rhythm of learning. You repeat sentences aloud and feel your voice grow stronger. You begin to think, I can actually do this. The feeling of progress gives you even more energy. It's like light spreading through you, quiet, warm, unstoppable. Movement becomes joy again. A short walk, a few stretches, a deep breath in the morning sun. Each one wakes up your spirit. You no longer see exercise as a task, but as a celebration of being alive. You begin to love the feeling of effort, the light sweat, the calm exhaustion after pushing yourself. You remember that your body was made for movement, not just for sitting and scrolling. This new energy also changes how you see time. You stop rushing. You see how precious each hour truly is. You use your time like gold, spending it carefully on what matters. Learning, creating, resting, and caring. You notice that productivity without peace is empty. Real progress feels calm. It feels honest. People around you might start to sense the change. They may not know what happened, but they feel something in your presence, something quieter, stronger. Your eyes are clearer. Your voice is slower but more confident. You no longer speak to impress. You speak to connect. This energy, this quiet power, doesn't come from outside. It comes from doing the simple things right every day. From silence, from discipline, from self-respect. You realize you don't need motivation anymore. You just need momentum. Every small, good choice adds to the current of strength inside you. And now, that current is beginning to move you towards something even greater. A deep, unshakable confidence that grows not from words, but from actions repeated with heart. Confidence doesn't arrive like lightning. It grows like dawn, slow, steady, and silent. You don't wake up one day suddenly brave. You build courage quietly, one honest action at a time. After weeks of discipline and stillness, you begin to feel it. It's not loud, not showy, not the kind of confidence that needs applause. It's softer. It's peace in movement, calm in voice, strength in silence. You notice it first in small moments. When you walk into a room, your posture is different. You don't hide behind your phone or rush your words. You breathe. You stand still. You listen before speaking. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself because you finally believe yourself. That's the real change. Confidence isn't shouting that you can. It's quietly knowing that you will. Your relationship with mistakes changes too. Before, every error felt like proof you weren't good enough. Now, you see mistakes as messages. When you speak English and forget a word, you don't freeze. You smile, you pause, you try again. You realize that fluency isn't perfection, it's patience. You learn faster now because you're not afraid of being seen learning. That fear once chained you. Now it feeds you. Every failure becomes a teacher. Every attempt adds strength. Confidence also changes how you see others. You stop competing. You start appreciating. You no longer need to be the best. You just need to be your best. You stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. You realize that envy is just admiration without action. So instead of comparing, you study. You learn. You grow. This new self-respect flows into how you move, how you speak, how you treat people. You don't force conversations anymore. You don't chase attention. You understand that your presence is enough. Silence no longer feels awkward. It feels powerful. You see that people trust calm energy more than loud words. You start to carry that calm everywhere you go. And when old fears try to return, when doubt whispers, you're not ready. you smile. You remember the mornings you woke early, the nights you worked in silence, the moments you kept going when no one saw. That memory is your proof. Confidence doesn't come from compliments. It comes from remembering what you've already survived. Each time you act with courage, even in small ways, you reinforce your belief. You start to enjoy stepping into challenges. You begin to seek discomfort because you know that's where growth lives. You stop waiting for the perfect moment to begin. You realize you already began the day you chose to disappear. Confidence doesn't shout. It glows. It's the steady light that others see without understanding where it comes from. It's the quiet strength that says, I know who I am, and I'm still becoming. And now, that light is shining through you, stronger with every word you speak, every action you repeat, every peaceful breath you take. As your confidence deepens, a new freedom begins to rise within you. It's the freedom of not needing to control everything, not needing to please everyone, not needing to be understood. You start to see that peace does not come from having more. It comes from holding less. This is the art of detachment. Detachment does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. You still love, but you love without fear of losing. You still work, but you work without desperation for results. You still speak, but you speak without needing approval. You begin to understand that everything that truly belongs to you will stay, and everything that doesn't will fade naturally. You no longer chase. You attract by being calm, focused, and real. You notice how much of your old life was built around reaction. One message could change your mood. One comment could break your confidence. One failure could erase a week of effort. But now you breathe through it. When something doesn't go as planned, you don't fall apart. You simply pause and remind yourself, I can only control my effort, not the outcome. That one thought gives you immense peace. Detachment also helps you work smarter. You stop pushing for perfection and start flowing with purpose. When you study English, you don't stress over each mistake. You listen, you learn, and you move forward. You no longer translate every word in your head. You trust the process. The language starts to live inside you because you're not forcing it anymore. You're allowing it. In relationships, you stop overthinking what people think of you. You realize that not everyone will understand your silence, your discipline, or your goals, and that's okay. You no longer explain your journey to those who aren't walking beside you. You understand that peace is too expensive to trade for approval. The art of detachment makes your emotions clearer. You still feel deeply, but you are not controlled by feelings anymore. You can be sad without collapsing. You can be angry without harming. You can love without losing yourself. You learn to observe emotions like waves, rising, falling, and disappearing back into stillness. Every evening, you sit quietly and reflect. You look at what bothered you during the day, and you ask, was it really worth my peace? Most of the time, the answer is no. So you let it go. Each time you release something, you feel lighter. Your mind becomes cleaner, like a sky clearing after a storm. This detachment doesn't make you cold, it makes you powerful. You start to move through life with calm certainty. You speak gently but firmly. You no longer react, you respond. You are becoming untouchable, not because you don't care, but because you finally understand that your peace is your responsibility. And as you master this art, something profound begins to happen. The silence you once had to create is now inside you, always available. The world may be noisy, but you are steady. Nothing outside can shake what you've built within. After learning to let go, your life begins to quiet down in the best way. The rush, the noise, the endless desire for more, they all start to fade. What replaces them is simplicity, pure and clear. You no longer want to fill every moment. You want to feel every moment. You understand now that peace doesn't need decoration. It grows best in space. You begin to simplify everything: your routine, your thoughts, your goals. You realize that the fewer things you chase, the more energy you have for what truly matters. You clean your room again, but this time it's not just about order. It's about clarity. Every item that stays in your space has a purpose. Every minute that stays in your day has meaning. You stop trying to do 10 things halfway and start doing 3 things fully. Your mornings are now quiet rituals. A stretch, a glass of water, a short reflection, a few English sentences spoken softly. You don't rush through them. You live inside them. You listen to the sound of your own voice, not to judge it, but to appreciate it. Your English doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be yours. Each word carries your calm, your focus, your journey. Even your goals have changed. You no longer dream of being everywhere or impressing everyone. You dream of being present, grounded, alive. You learn to enjoy the ordinary: the smell of tea, the rhythm of footsteps, the peace of a clean table. These small things no longer feel small. They feel sacred. You also start saying no more often, and it feels freeing. You say no to distractions, no to noise, no to unnecessary drama. Every no is a yes to yourself. You realize that simplicity is not about having less. It's about needing less. When you need less, you fear less. And when you fear less, you can focus more deeply on what gives you meaning. Simplicity even changes how you speak. Your words become shorter but stronger. You no longer fill silence with empty sentences. You let pauses live. You realize that language, like life, breathes better when it's not crowded. You speak slowly, with care, and your confidence grows quietly through that calm. This new simplicity doesn't make life dull. It makes it brighter. The fewer things around you, the more beauty you see. The fewer goals you chase, the more progress you make. The fewer people you try to please, the more authentic you feel. Everything you touch now has intention behind it. And slowly, you begin to understand the quiet secret of simplicity. You were never missing anything. You were just too full to notice what was already there. Now that the noise is gone, you finally have space to breathe, to grow, and to live with grace and clarity. With simplicity guiding your days, life becomes balanced. The chaos that once filled your mind has turned into quiet rhythm. You wake up, move, learn, and rest, not as a rule, but as a flow. You realize that the real secret to transformation isn't speed, talent, or luck. It's consistency, the ability to show up every single day, no matter how small the step, no matter how quiet the progress. You start seeing consistency as your greatest strength. It doesn't shout. It doesn't post. It just builds, layer by layer, until one day, you wake up and realize how far you've come. The mirror reflects not just your face, but your effort, the calm in your eyes, the quiet pride in your posture. You see that real confidence is not born in a moment of motivation, but in months of repetition. There are still days when you feel unmotivated. You wake up tired, your mind heavy, your heart quiet. On those days, you remember something powerful. Motivation is a visitor, but consistency is a friend. You don't wait for the visitor anymore. You walk with the friend. You do what must be done even when you don't feel like it. And that's where strength is born. When you study English now, it's no longer a task. It's part of who you are. You listen, read, and speak naturally, without forcing yourself. Even when you make mistakes, you keep going. You've learned that fluency isn't built in hours. It's built in days, weeks, and months of gentle persistence. Every sentence you practice, every word you repeat, adds another brick to your foundation. Your consistency also changes your relationship with time. You no longer rush to reach the future. You trust the process. You know that what you do today will bloom tomorrow, and that every seed you plant in silence will eventually grow. You stop asking, "When will it happen?" and start saying, "It's already happening." That small shift makes your heart peaceful. People around you might still look for quick results. They jump from plan to plan, chasing the next shortcut. But you've seen the truth. There is no shortcut to depth. Real change grows quietly, under the surface, away from attention. You are no longer in a hurry. You are building something that lasts. Some evenings, as you close your notebook, you smile. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are proud of your consistency. You have learned to trust yourself. You have become the kind of person who keeps promises, not to others, but to your own soul. And that trust, that steady heartbeat of daily effort, is the quiet force that will carry you through anything still to come. One morning, you wake up before the alarm, just as always. The room is calm, the air still. You drink your water, stretch, breathe, and begin your day. But something feels different now. You move with an ease you didn't have before. Your mind doesn't rush. Your hands don't shake. You realize this is it. The transformation you've been working for hasn't come as a loud event. It has arrived silently, woven into your daily rhythm. You didn't even notice it happening. You catch your reflection in the mirror. The same face, but not the same person. Your eyes hold clarity. Your posture is straight. Your voice, when you speak, is slower, deeper, more certain. You no longer try to sound confident. You simply are. All those mornings of discipline, all those evenings of silence, have built something inside you that no one can take away. Your thoughts have changed too. Before, every challenge felt like a mountain. Now you see them as paths. Difficult, yes, but passable. When problems appear, you don't panic. You breathe, observe, and act. You know that storms don't destroy strong roots. They reveal them. And you have grown deep roots. Your connection with learning has deepened as well. English now flows through your day naturally. You think in it, speak in it, dream in it sometimes. It no longer feels like a subject to master, but a part of your voice, your identity. Each word carries memory, of quiet nights repeating phrases, of early mornings listening to new sounds. Your language grew the same way you did. Slowly, patiently, beautifully. People begin to notice. Someone says, "You've changed." They can't explain how, but they feel it. You don't rush to prove or explain. You just smile. You know that what they see is not a new outfit or haircut. It's inner peace. It's focus. It's the result of 90 quiet days spent building yourself from the inside out. Even your relationship with time has softened. You no longer chase the next moment. You live this one fully. Eating feels different. Walking feels different. Even silence feels alive. You have learned that happiness was never missing. It was just buried under noise. This transformation isn't dramatic. It's quiet, steady, invisible to most. But you feel it in every breath, every step, every calm decision. You understand now that disappearing was never about hiding from the world. It was about meeting yourself in a place beyond distraction. And in that meeting, you found something extraordinary. Peace that doesn't depend on anything or anyone. You don't need to announce your return. You just live it. Because the person who disappeared 90 days ago is gone, and the one standing here now doesn't need to prove anything. The transformation is real, and it's yours. 90 days. It sounds short when you say it, but when you live it with awareness, it feels like a lifetime. You began this journey tired, lost, uncertain. You thought you needed motivation, success, recognition. But what you really needed was silence, patience, and faith in yourself. And now, As the circle completes, you stand quietly at the edge of who you once were and who you have become. You didn't just disappear from the world. You disappeared from distraction, from weakness, from fear. You left behind the version of you that waited for perfect moments, that cared too much about opinions, that lived for approval. What returned is someone different, calm, clear, and quietly powerful. You have learned that transformation doesn't need witnesses. The results speak for themselves. The outside world hasn't changed much, but your eyes have. You see everything differently now. The things that once irritated you seem small. The fears that once stopped you now feel like dust in the wind. You've built something unshakable inside. Peace that no noise can break. Focus that no chaos can steal. Confidence that no doubt can erase. When you step back into the world, people may ask where you've been. You might just smile and say, working. Because that's the truth. You've been working on the most important project of all, yourself. And though they might not understand the silence that changed you, they will feel it. Your energy speaks before your words do. Even your English, your daily practice, carries this new strength. The words flow with honesty now. They are not just language. They are your story, proof that consistency creates fluency and discipline creates freedom. Every time you speak, you remind yourself that growth isn't about talent. It's about time, patience, and love for the process. You realize you no longer want to return to the old pace. You want to live differently now, slower, deeper, truer. You know that you can disappear anytime you need to rebuild again. Because silence is not isolation, it's transformation. It's the space where broken things turn whole. So you walk forward, quietly, into your new life. You don't rush. You don't shout. You don't need to prove your strength anymore. You carry it inside you. The 90 days are over, but the journey is not. Growth never ends. Every day is another chance to return to yourself again and again. And as you take your next step, you whisper to the world, not loudly, but firmly, with a calm heart and a clear mind. I disappeared to find myself. Now, I return unrecognizable.